Hey yo everybody, it's Syncros here, and welcome back to another episode of Coaster Spotlight. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at 3 Alpine themed blueprints, so stay tuned and let's dive on in. Alright everyone, first up we have Grizzly, submitted by 420 Coffee, one of our Discord builders, and he says, "Hey Johnny 5, I would like to introduce you to Grizzly. Built on an abandoned mining camp at the picturesque waterfall and river the ride is named after. Grizzly is a massive RMC with over 7,000 feet of track, a 200-foot drop, and hits over 80 miles per hour. To go with all of that, Grizzly offers 11 airtime hills, 11 inversions, 5 trains for massive capacity to go with all its green stats, including head choppers and close calls. A wild ride with a lot of train interactions awaits." Alright everyone, we have a Steel Hybrid Malice Unchained with a 7.52 Excitement, a 5.56 Fear, and a 1.86 Nausea. That thing is freaking crazy. Wow. Really smooth coaster. I'm actually really impressed with how smooth that was. Little bit of feedback here. Definitely some feedback. I think it's unnecessarily huge as far as the blueprint is concerned. Yeah, I feel like you could have shrunk it down quite a bit. So I'm not huge on these drops that don't go right down to the ground, and you're stuck with all these extra supports, and it's just a little bit unnecessary. You get all these kind of awkward, tall coaster elements that just don't need to be this high off the ground. So I think trying to bring the coaster down, especially off your main drop, to carry a bunch of speed and come back up and get massive airtime hills, it just makes for a little nicer coaster layout. But for a builder, this is still really fun. I like how you incorporate it into the building here. That's pretty dang hard to do, like fitting it through this window. I'm sure there's some arms getting lost there. Oh, barely, look at that. That's good timing. Yeah, trying to run coaster through the building like this is really hard to do, and you did it multiple times, so that's really impressive. Really impressive. Yeah, overall really fun coaster. Nice rock work over here with the waterfall. Yeah, I'd say what I would try and work on for the next one is just try and bring it down a bit, because I was looking at your the way you built it. You're using these pre-built pieces that are just massive, right? And then that kind of limits to what you can do. And I'm not sure if the second run was really necessary or not. Definitely a long roller coaster, and it's kind of just a repeat of the first run. They're not dueling or anything like that, so it sort of defeats the purpose of having the second lift, if you ask me. Mind you, that is all a matter of opinion, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And let's move on to the next one. Alright, next up we have Mountain Run, submitted by RJman03, one of our Discord builders, and he says, "This creation was something I decided to do inspired by the holiday season. After constructing the bobsled coaster, which surprisingly has good ratings, I made sure to decorate it to the appropriate setting of the holiday season. I'm hoping I will eventually reach the rank of advanced or master, considering how my workshop has grown. I hope you, along with your friends and family, have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy the new year. Cheers, RJman03. P.S. The path guide, I didn't really have enough piece flexibility to create, so it may be a little tricky. You need to use 3-meter path, and off the start of the queue, you need to go straight down using a spiral staircase. Once you see the layout, you will know what I mean. Thanks for everything you do for this community." Alright, so we have a wooden bobsled Aces Sky with a 5.32 excitement, a 3.56 fear, and a 0.61 nausea. There's a look at the rest of the results if you're interested. Let's ride this. Really solid bobsled coaster. That was a lot of fun. I find these are really hard to get smooth, and I think you did a really good job of making it have a nice swoopy long layout. Like coming through here, it didn't feel too jerky. So really good job with that. I'm actually really curious of how you got these coaster trains so dang close together. Like, it seems like they're far away, but I didn't see any block sections, so I'm not too sure how this coaster works. If you need block sections to put trains on. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't a block section. There's just drive tires there. Looks like you can just keep adding cars on. Okay. That's neat. I did not know that about this roller coaster. So apparently you don't need block sections. You can just load up the trains. Yeah, I don't really have any feedback for this. The rock work is really nice. You've got a nice assortment of colors in there. It's a really good job on that. Let's take a look at the nighttime lighting quick. See if there is any. Ooh, I like that a lot. Nice and subtle. Yeah, very nice. Really nice boarding station too, by the way. Definitely got the Christmassy vibe. I think there are pieces that you can put on to fill these areas, I think. Or if you just use walls and then an angled piece here. Unless you ran out of pieces, then I would understand. Yeah, really nice in here. See how many pieces we're sitting at. Yeah, definitely maxed out with the pathing guide that I already deleted. Overall solid blueprint, and you said you were looking to get at least to advanced expert master area, so looking at this, I would definitely apply for a workshop review if you haven't already. We'll be getting around to those soon, if not already by the time of this video being aired, because this is definitely above builder quality, so make sure and do that if you haven't. Really good job today here, RJMan03. We're off to the next blueprint. Alright, our last coaster for today, we have SubZero, submitted by Kitch, one of our Discord advanced builders, and he says, whilst exploring a frigid land far to the north, a submarine was found frozen breached atop a mysterious rock riddled with ice passages. The sub proved to be impenetrable. However, upon further investigation of the caves, rare and valuable gems were found, unlike none other. Over the next several months, a research base was established to study this geological treasure and investigate the mystery of the submarine. However, not long after, the research team went off the grid and the base was found abandoned and frozen solid with the team nowhere to be found. Take a journey to the north and find out for yourself the mystery of SubZero. Hi Johnny, this is my latest 4K blueprint, a Cascade water coaster with a frigid sci-fi theme. I've tried to take your suggestions to heart from my previous submissions. Better lighting and easier queue setup were two of them. Design includes an ambient light display on the mountain with over 400 triggers across 60 plus lights to create a mystical effect. Queuing setup is provided in the blueprint. Black arrows are queue, white arrows are priority pass. Use the see me, hide me signs to level correctly. Be sure to either terraform and provide water under the areas where the coaster wraps around outside of the mountain, or just paint with the snow ice frozen paint for a frozen effect. I prefer the frozen effect as it fits the theme best. Thank you for everything you provide to this amazing community. I'll keep the creations coming. As always, stay tuned. Best Kitch. Alright everyone, we have a water coaster Cascade with a 4.47 excitement, a 2.44 fear, and a 1.49 nausea. There's a look at the rest of the results, and let's go. Alright, so I've got some good and bad things to say about this. Not necessarily bad, but just some feedback. The Cascade, it's kind of a tricky coaster to build in an exciting way if you're using the slow water portions of the track, like you did here. So for this coaster, it kind of seems like it's more geared towards an action-packed coaster, so I'm not sure if the Cascade was the best choice for it. That could just be my opinion on that, but there was the first water section after the first drops. Let's see if we can find that. Try and, yeah, so I think that's through here. I kind of think this is it here. It's pretty just long and there's nothing happening through here, right? It's just, you're on the outside, you're not even in the ride really. So there's nothing going on. And then you get inside, there's still really not a whole lot going on. Some really nice theming, don't get me wrong, but it's just, yeah, a little bit boring, at least for me. And then you come up the lift and then the ride starts. So you had that whole thing, there was probably almost a minute there of just sitting before the ride even began. And then you go down and then it starts to pick up pace and gets pretty exciting. You head back into the submarine and then you're back onto another lift. So there's something to be said about utilizing your momentum a little better. I think having the submarine as your main lift right off the get-go would have been a better idea. And then just utilizing your momentum a little better, using big ups and downs, and then that's where the Cascade is tricky. It's a fast and slow paced ride, and being able to balance it properly with the type of theming you're doing can be really, really tricky. And this was definitely not a bad attempt at it, but I think it could have been executed a little bit better. So I just don't think it was the right coaster for the style of ride you were aiming for. But overall, the theming on this is really good. I love the submarine. I love how the monster, he's kind of holding it there. You get the sci-fi base out here. Sorry I didn't paint. I didn't even see that note until I started riding it, so I did put the water in though. I did get that. We got it half done. Yeah, really, really cool base and awesome buildings here. Custom sign, really good job there. Let's take a look at this thing at night. Ooh, I like the nighttime lighting a lot. As far as your previous feedback that Johnny had given you, I don't know much about that, but you did have a very good pathing guide from what I'd seen before I deleted it. With these triple spotlights, we're not really doing pathing setup anymore just because setting up for all three could be very time consuming. But it looks fairly simple enough, so I would say good job there if we had set it up. Yeah, overall really solid submission here today by Kitch. Alright everyone, well that about wraps it up for this episode of Coaster Spotlight today. If you liked what you've seen today, be sure to smash that button. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. We have lots of awesome episodes coming your way. Really awesome submissions by these three builders. We had 420 Coffee, RJ Man 03, and Kitch. Keep up the good work. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with next. Alright, we'll see you all in the next one. Bye now.